So let's begin with the session. So we are going to start with the invocation to Maharishi Patanjali. And before that, we will chant the invocation mantras. So sit with your eyes closed, hands in chin mudra, back straight. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Ganana Antva Ganapati Gum Havamahe Kavim Kavinam Upamashravastamam Jeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspata Anashrunvannotibhis Sadanam Mahaganapataye Namaha Prano Devi Saraswati Vajebhirvajinivati Dhinama Vitryavatu Anu Divo Bruhataf Parvatada Saraswati Yajata Gantu Yajnam Havan Devi Jujushana Kritachi Shadman no vachamushati shrunotu Vagdevyai namaha Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Brush your palms. Place them on your eyes. Give gentle massage all over your face. And with few blinks, slowly open your eyes. So we'll begin with invocation to Maharishi Patanjali. Yogena chittasya padena vacham malam sharirasya cha vaidyakena yopakarottam pravaram muninam Patanjalim pranjaliranatosmi. So far we have covered the sutras up to 40 from Sadhana Pada. So in today's session, we are going to complete the remaining sutras from Sadhana Pada, and we are going to look into the first 5 sutras from Vibhuti Pada. So until last time, we looked up to Saucha. So we were looking into the Ashtanga Yoga, the first 2 limbs of Ashtanga Yoga, Yama and Niyama. So now we are going to continue with these Niyamas. Sattva Shuddhi Saumanasyai. Sattva Shuddhi Saumanasyai. Saumanasyai Kagrendriya. Saumanasyai Kagrendriya. Jayatmadarshana. Jayatmadarshana. Yogyatva Nicha. Yogyatva Nicha. Sattva Shuddhi. That is, the Sattva is one part of the Trigunas. Shuddhi is the purification. Saumanasya. Sattva Shuddhi Saumanasya. Sorry, because today I am doing it from iPad. Few of the things are not clear on this slide. ekagrendriya. So it is one pointedness. So you're putting all your senses on one object, yogyatwani cha. So we'll look into the shaucha. So what is shaucha? And its siddhi. So what siddhi we are expecting if we are observing shaucha? So that has been explained, that purification of all the senses will happen and you get victory over your senses. Okay, so this is the gist of this sutra. And then next one is santoshad anuttama sukhalabha. Santoshadnuttama sukhalabha. So when one observes one of the Mahavratas, that is the contentment, santosha. So from contentment, anuttamaha, incomparable, sukha, joy, happiness, labha. So by contentment, supreme joy is gained. That is the siddhi of observing Mahavrata as santosha. So you're rich when you're content and happy with what you have. That is the santosha. The next one is tapas. Shaucha, santosha, tapas, swadhyaya, ishvara, pranidhana. So the third one is tapas. Kayendriya siddhir, Kayendriya siddhir, shuddhikshaya tapasaha. Kayendriya siddhir, shuddhikshaya tapasaha. Kaya is the body. Indriya are the senses. Siddhi, that is the mastery, perfection, special powers. Ashuddhi, impurities. Kshaya, by reduction or destruction, tapasaha. So because of tapas, because of austerities, impurities of body and senses are destroyed and special powers gained. Due to kleshas and impurities, natural capabilities are hidden and can't manifest. So whenever we are observing shaucha or santosha or constantly observing the tapas, penance, what happens is all the impurities, as we have seen in detail, all the kleshas that been destroyed, and because of that, sorry about the other noises around. Because of that, the hidden or what we can say, the potential, the capacity within is hidden. It's not manifesting to the fullest. Just give me a minute. I will just close the door. So this is about tapasa. What siddhi you get, it is all about gaining mastery over your senses and the body. And all the impurities are destroyed. So it's been explained. You must have heard about these Ashta Mahasiddhis of body from tapas. That is Anima, Mahima, Laghima, Garima, Prapti, Prakamya, Ishitvam and Vashitvam. So all the explanation or the meaning of each siddhi is given here, that becoming small in size, huge in size, or light or heavy. So that goes on. They are called as Ashtamaha Siddhis. And Ashtamaha Siddhis of senses from tapas, that is Sukshma, Vyavahita. These are not meant to be understood in detail, but just, for the sake of knowledge, I have put up these. that is like, with the gross eyes, even like a X-ray vision you can attain if you have gained total control over your senses. Dhyanam, that is the sensory knowledge. So these are the Ashtamaha Siddhis of senses from tapas. Then the next one is Swadhyaya. Swadhyaya Ishtadevata Samprayogah. Swadhyayat Ishtadevata Samprayogah. Swadhyaya, that is from study of sacred text or repetition of mantras. If you are blessed enough to get a guru mantra, and if you are repeating these mantras again and again, Ishta, that is your repeating the mantra of your Ishta Devata, worshipping the Ishta Devata, deity, then Samprayogaha, conjunction, direct perception or conversation. Sorry, today I am in India, and today it's celebration of Krishna's birth, Gokulashtami, and they have put up a lot of songs on loudspeaker. So I have to close my windows. Give me a minute, please. Sorry about this. So by study of spiritual books or repetition of your Guru Mantra, that comes the communion with one's chosen deity. You start coming in contact with your Ishta Devata, or you might get the direct perception of your Ishta Devata, or there is two-way communication happening between you and your Ishta Devata, or there is a complete union. So there is no difference between you and your Ishta Devata. You just become one during your sadhana. So Swadhyaya is all about constantly becoming one with your mantra, Ishta Devata, and without interruption, you're constantly in conjunction with the deity. So this is what Swadhyaya is. And then Ishvara Pranidhana. Samadhi Siddhirishvara Pranidhanat. Samadhi Siddhirishvara Pranidhanat. Samadhi is the contemplation. Siddhir, attainment. Ishvara is the God. Pranidhanat, from attitude of total surrender. So by total surrender to God, Samadhi is attained. Because when there is complete surrender, Sharanagati, there is no duality remains. Correct? Your I-ness, I amness, your asmita, your ahankara is totally demolished. And maybe during your practice or your meditation, you get that experience of complete oneness, and that is called as Samadhi Siddhi Ishvara Pranidhanat. Sthira Sukham Asanam. So here it ends the Yama and Niyama part, the first two limbs of Ashtanga Yoga. Okay, and now from verse 46, we are starting with the third limb of Ashtanga Yoga. What is asana? Yama, Niyama, asana. So asana is defined as Sthira Sukham Asanam. Sthira, which is steady and stable. Sukham is comfortable, happy. You're in a most happy space, prosperous or most ease, at ease you are, pleasantly you are maintaining that posture. And that is called as asanam, posture, or you are present into that given space, sitting without interruption. So asana is a steady, comfortable posture. Normally they both don't go together, correct? So if you are steady, not necessarily it has to be pleasant. If you watch yourself, if you are practicing in a yoga class, if there is a CCTV camera and you observe yourself, so a lot of movements happening in the posture. So that should be avoided. So that can be a self-analysis, that any shaky movements, unnecessary movements have to be consciously avoided in any given posture. And with the practice, with the regular practice only, that steadiness can be achieved. And when you are steady into that posture, what you experience is the sukham. You're not under pain, under numbness or discomfort, or you don't want to come out of that posture. That kind of feeling you're getting when you are in that yoga asana. Okay, so this is how Patanjali defines asana, sthiram and sukham. And also he gives what are the techniques to achieve or to go into depth of your practice of asanas. Prayatna shaithilyananta samapatibhyam. Prayatna shaithilyananta samapatibhyam. So what actually we need to be doing when we are maintaining any posture? Prayatna shaithilya is the slackening effort before, during, and after reaching the asanas. Prayatna shaithilya. That is, you're putting efforts initially, but after some time, as you're going into the posture, maintaining the posture, and after reaching the final state of posture, every process becomes so effortless. So prayatna is getting reduced gradually, and that is getting into shaithilya. So you are loosening, relaxing, and because of that letting go or expansion of your consciousness into that given posture, what is the result? Is the ananta samapatti. That is infinite, unending, eternal, ananta samapatti. You start meditating on that eternal, on that infinite consciousness. Bhyam, so from both Prayatna Shaithilya and Ananta Samapatti. So these are the two techniques of practicing asanas. So by lessening the natural tendency of restlessness and by meditating on the infinite, posture is mastered. So asana has twofold technique: Prayatna Shaithilya and Ananta Samapatti. And then, what is the result of this practice? Tato dvandvanabhighatah. Tato dvandvanabhighatah. Tatah. That is, thereafter, in consequence, dvandva, the dualities, anabhighatah, undisturbed. So you become one with the infinite. There is no duality. Thereafter, one is not disturbed by the dualities, hot, cold, pain, sorrow, praise, insult. But what's happening because of sthiram and sukham, prayatna shaithilya, ananta samapatti is the complete asana or the practice samskara is happening on our body, breathing, senses, chitta, buddhi, and samahita chitta. So from disturbed, kshipta, vikshipta state or chitta, what happens is samahita, harmonious mind starts remaining or maintaining. A person having orientation to yama and niyama, which can be termed as internal props, will perform asanas better, so no need of external props. We see in different yoga classes that because of the limitations of different individuals, their bodies, because they have got certain physical conditions, or just because of body is not that flexible, it's stiff, they use a lot of props to maintain any posture. But what Patanjali emphasizes on yama and niyama, if we are practicing all the yamas and niyamas to best of our capacity, then mind becomes flexible, body becomes flexible, and that helps in practice of asanas. Okay, so in order to achieve the steady body, samahita chitta, yama and niyamas play a very vital role. But unfortunately, these two first limbs of Ashtanga Yoga are completely ignored, and what is only focused is the asana part of Ashtanga Yoga. But if you suddenly start practicing yoga or asanas, it's not the correct approach or right way to start, and you will face a lot of challenges and difficulties in practice of asanas. So one must practice, incorporate these mahavratas, spend enough time, or simultaneously with the asanas, one should or observe these mahavratas. Okay, so sthira sukham asanam, prayatna shaithilya, and dvandva anabhighatah. These are the process of complete practice of asanas. And then comes the fourth limb, that is pranayama. Tasmin sati shvasa prashvasayor gati vichedaf pranayamaha. Tasmin sati shvasa prashvasayor gati vichedaf pranayamaha. Tasmin, upon that asana practice, sati, being established, shvasa prashvasa, so inhalation, exhalation, yoga of this both, gati vichedah, so suspension of the inhalation and exhalation is what is defined as pranayama. Tasmin sati shvasa prashvasa yor gati. So the speed of inhalation, the speed of exhalation, there is gati vichedaha. So that has been interrupted or suspended in the practice of pranayama. Okay. Now this pranayama has got different phases. That is bahyabhyantaras stambha vrittir, bahyabhyantara stambha vrittir, desha kala sankhyaabhihi, desha kala sankhyaabhihi, paridrishto dirgha sukshmaha, paridrishto dirgha sukshmaha. So what it means is, Bahya is the external, Abhyantara is internal. Bahya, Abhyantara, Stambha. Stambha is held, suspended. Vritti is modification. So because you are either suspending your breath out or in, what happens is the vrittis, the mental modifications are suspended. Desha, kala, depending on place, space means the space within your body or outside your body, and what is the duration of that suspension. Okay, kala, so place or space and time. By number of repetitions, sankhya paridrushto dirgha sukshmaha. Sorry, it has not present on this slide. So because of this internal and external suspension of the breath, depending on the place and time, dirgha and sukshmaha. So how long you can suspend your breath? Paridrushtaha. So let's see in the next sutra to conclude this pranayam as such. Bahyabhyantara Vishayakshepi Chaturthaha. Bahyabhyantara Vishayakshepi Chaturthaha. So Bahya and Abhyantara means external, internal, Vishaya, object, beyond, that is Akshepi or Akshepi, beyond, Chaturthaha, the fourth vritti of prana, natural cessation of the breath due to its long and subtle nature. Through practice, it results into Kevala Kumbhaka. So there is a fourth kind of pranayama. First is inhalation, exhalation, internal retention or external retention. And beyond this is the natural suspension of the breath. That is the fourth kind of pranayama that occurs during concentration on an internal or external object. So it may be your breath itself or prana, the subtle in nature of our breath. So while practicing pranayama, as we keep our focus on the breath or on the prana or any internal or external object, naturally it leads to the natural suspension of the breath, which is called as Kevala Kumbhaka, that is Chaturtha. It is termed as Chaturtha. Like in the three states of consciousness, Jagrutavastha, Swapnavastha, and Sushupti Avastha, when one goes beyond these three states of consciousness, it is called as Turyavastha, the fourth state. Similarly, inhalation, exhalation, and retention, this is the three parts. But when one goes beyond this, so there is neither inhalation, nor exhalation, nor retention, but it is the natural suspension of the breath, which is called as the fourth, the Chaturtha, and that is Kevala Kumbhaka. And then what happens is Tataha Kshiyate, Tataha Kshiyate Prakashavaranam, Prakashavaranam. Tataha, therefore, as a result, from that, Kshiyate is destroyed, weakened, Prakasha, the inner light or clarity or the Sattva nature of individual. Avaranam, that veil, that layer. Tamasa, Vyuthana, Samskara, tendency to look outwards. is tamasic or rajasic. Tamasa vyuthana means vyuthana is you're going extroverted. And that kind of samskara, that tendency is being weakened, kshiyate, and mind becomes more internalized. And as its result, the veil over the inner light, the Atman, is destroyed. So, what pranayama is nothing but tapas. If you are practicing asanas, if you are practicing pranayama, if you are practicing meditation, if you are practicing any one of the yamas or niyamas or all the yamas and niyamas, all this practice come under the tapas. All this practice come under the swadhyaya. As a result, there is Ishvara Pranidhana, and the inner light, which is hidden, which is covered with the avarana, has been weakened. Okay? Tatah kshiyate prakasha varanam. And then dharana sucha yogyata manasah. Dharana sucha yogyata manasah. For concentration, yogyata, it becomes ready. You are qualified. You are now fit. So this is the fitness of the mind. It's mind's yogyata, qualification, readiness for dharana. And the mind becomes fit for concentration. Pancha dharana, 5 areas of body. Shodhana kriya, mind and prana both flows there. So what is a shodhana kriya? They are called as shuddhi kriyas. So because of the cleansing techniques and pranayama, the shodhana kriya, you are practicing anulom vilom pranayama, which is also called as shuddhi pranayama or anulom vilom pranayama. These, because of the result of the first 4 limbs of Ashtanga Yoga, your body, mind, senses, your buddhi, all areas of the individual become fit for the concentration. Okay. And then comes the pratyahara. Svavishaya samprayoge. Svavishaya samprayoge. Chittasvarupānukāra. Chittasvarupānukāra. Ivendriyanam pratyaharaha. Ivendriyanam pratyaharaha. Svavishaya samprayoge. Chittasvarupānukāra. Ivendriyanam pratyaharaha. So what is pratyahara? Their own swa, its own vishaya, objects, asamprayoge, in non-contact, upon withdrawal, relative or absolute, depends upon quality of sadhaka. So when we try to withdraw our senses from outside, from external world, so that can be partial, relative or absolute, depending on the sadhana of the practitioner. Chitta, the mind stuff. Swarupa, its own nature. Anukara, imitate, auto-suggestion, as if indriyanam, of the senses of knowledge, pratyaharaha, that is withdrawal. So, pratyahara is nothing but the withdrawal of senses from the objects of senses in the external world. And that becomes the breach between Bahya and Antaranga Yoga. That is Yama Niyama Asana Pranayamaha. These are the Bahya Ranga Yoga, and Antaranga Yoga is Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. So between these two, what is the bridge? Is the withdrawal of senses. That is the Pratyahara. And then Tatah Parama Vashyatendriyanam. Tatah Parama Vashyatendriyanam. Tatah, from that, Parama, supreme, Vashyata, that is the mastery, Indriyanam, that is of these or of the senses. Then follows supreme mastery over the senses, as I have termed it as or mentioned before, Bahiranga Yoga. So one of the mastery over the senses is termed as Shama and Dama. So Damaha is mastery over the senses, restraint in the face of inappropriate or harmful use of the sense organs. If we are using these sense organs wisely, not putting unnecessary stuff inside to make the chitta more restless or distracted, then it is going to become very difficult for concentration. So Pratyahara is the main thing, which is the gateway. You're going to close this gateway, not letting anything coming inside which is negative, harmful, or which can lead to more chitta vrittis. And here we complete the sadhana pada. Iti Patanjali virachite Yoga Sutre Dvitiya Sadhana Padaha. So there are 55 sutras in Sadhana Pada, and Patanjali ends with the dharana and its siddhi. Okay. And we are going to begin with Vibhuti Pada, that is the powers one achieves as a result of observing these different limbs of Ashtanga Yoga. So he continues from 3.1, the first sutra of Vibhuti Pada, about dharana. Desha bandhaschittasya dharana. Desha bandhaschittasya dharana. Desha is place. Bandha is the fixing. Now here I have just given different points of concentration. That is navel or tip of nose. These are like internal, on your body parts, or external as sun, moon, or the picture of your Ishtadevata. So these are the places, either internal or external. You can fix your chitta, the mind. Fixing or binding in one place, chittasya, of the mind, is called as dharana. Dharana is fixing of the mind to one object. So it's not advisory to change the object of meditation. Once you select the object of meditation, continue with it. Take time to decide what it's going to be. And once you fix the object of meditation, which is of higher value, higher meaning, spiritual significance, as you do dharana, as you do constant concentration on that object, you're becoming slowly one with that object. So that object needs to have a lot of spiritual significance. Okay. Tatra pratyayikatanata dhyanam. So what is meditation? Tatra pratyayikatanata dhyanam. in those places of dharana, tatra, pratyaya, activity of mind or vritti, ek homogeneous, similar thought flow about object of meditation. So even, you know, there will be thoughts in the mind, but when you are doing dharana, at least there will be homogeneous thought. The thoughts only related to the object of meditation, not any uh, thoughts, means unrelated. At least we can achieve that. Tanata is the continued flow, dhyanam. So what is meditation? Dhyana is the continuous flow of activity of the mind towards that object. So if it is the picture of Lord Vishnu or Krishna, my chitta vrittis or thought processes is all about Lord Krishna. So I have eradicated all the thoughts from different, objects, different things, and I'm just having the homogeneous thoughts of my object of meditation. This is called as dhyana. Tadevarthamaत्र nirbhasam. Tadevarthamaत्र nirbhasam. Swarupashunyamiva. Swarupashunyamiva. Samadhi. And after dharana dhyan comes samadhi. So what is samadhi? Samadhi is that meditation, even indeed itself, artha, objective, matra, alone, only, nirbhasam, shining forth, illuminating, swarupa, its own form, shunyam, devoid, losing, eva, as if, samadhi, profound absorption. Swarupa shunya eva. Here, as if, means samadhi is same meditation when there is the shining of the object alone. So I can just feel the Lord Krishna, his body, his ayudhas, what he is holding in his hand, as if devoid of form. Swarupa Shunya. So I am pretending that my thoughts are all about my object of meditation, but as if that form is disappearing. Okay. Another definition of samadhi is given in the first chapter, 1.40. Grahana, Grahya, Gruhitru, that we have seen that when all these three becomes one, and there is no difference between Grahana, Grahya and Gruhitru. So that becomes the samadhi, the perfect union, and as if that form has vanished and me and my Ishtadevata has become one. That is the state of samadhi. Okay, profound absorption. Now we can see what can be the difference between meditation and samadhi. Pratyayika tanata. Without mixture of other thoughts. Correct? Pratyayika ekatanata samadhi. Awareness, self and object of meditation. So when I am doing meditation, I am completely aware of myself, my body, my consciousness, and also the object of meditation, that I am here and my object of meditation is here. Distractions can be there. Sometimes, mind will waver from the object of meditation to something else. and chitta is more dominant. But in case of samadhi, artha matra nirbhasam, object alone shines, as if no self-awareness. So what is disappearing here in the complete absorption in the state of samadhi? That myself, my body, my mind, as if it has not gone completely, but as if it is disappeared. Good absorption in the object of meditation. Yogis document their samadhi experience. Smriti means there is self-awareness, correct? So Patanjali explains as if there is no self-awareness. But there is self-awareness, there is memory, and because of the smriti only, these yogis can document the experience from their state of samadhi. So the object has taken over. That Ishta Devata has taken over my self-awareness so much that I feel that myself has dissolved. Chitta awareness is negligible in Sampradnyata Samadhi. But here in Dhyana, Chitta is more dominant. So there are certain differences between the first stage, that is the Dhyana, and the little advanced state of that Dhyana itself into Samadhi. And for this Dharana, Dhyana and Samadhi, Patanjali termed this as Sanyamaha. Trayamekatra Sanyamaha. Trayamekatra Sanyamaha. Trayam consisting of three, ekatra, together. So he has given the nomenclature as a Sanyama. Here Patanjali Maharishi is not intended to add. So Sanyama is not any new state after Samadhi. But in later sutras, wherever Sanyama term comes, we must understand that it means the three stages of Antaranga Yoga. Dharana, Dhyan and Samadhi, they are zipped into one word, and that is called as Sanyama. And this is called as Samdhyana Sutra. So what is Sanyama? The practice of these three, Dharana, Dhyana and Samadhi, upon one object is called as Sanyama. So Dharana together with Dhyana and Samadhi is termed as Sanyama. And then Tajjayat Pradnyadokaha. Tajjayat Pradnyalokaha. So this Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi, Tat Jaya, from its mastery, like Asana Jaya, when one can maintain any posture for 3 hours, it is called that person has achieved Asana Jaya. Similarly, from the mastery of Sanyama, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi, what happens? What is the result? Pradnya, clarity, more aspects, multi-layers of object of meditation reveals. That is called as Sakshatkaraha. Ritambhara Pradya. Truth-filled state of mind, which is pinnacle of clarity. So all the truth, all the clarity about the object of meditation reveals to the individual. Alokaha, a glow, shines forth due to sharpened Sanyama. By the mastery of Sanyama comes the light or the clarity of knowledge. So here we are ending with the first 5 sutras of Vibhuti Pada. So let's chant all the sutras once again. सत्वशुद्धि सौमनस्यैके सौमनस्यैकाग्रेन्द्रिय सत्वशुद्धि सौमनस्यैकाग्रेन्द्रिय जयात्मदर्शन योग्यत्वानि च जयात्मदर्शन योग्यत्वानि च सत्वशुद्धि सौमनस्यैकाग्रेन्द्रिय जयात्मदर्शन योग्यत्वानि च संतोषानुत्तम सुखलाभः संतोषात् अनुत्तम सुखलाभः संतोषादनुत्तम सुखलाभः कायेन्द्रियसिद्धिर शुद्धिक्षया तपसः शुद्धिक्षया तपसः कायेन्द्रियसिद्धिर शुद्धिक्षया तपसः स्वाध्यायात् इष्टदेवता संप्रयोगः स्वाध्यायात् इष्टदेवता संप्रयोगः. This is swadhyaya. Then samadhi siddhirishvara pranidhanat samadhi siddhirishvara pranidhanat. What is most needed in the your sadhana is Ishvara Pranidhana. Without that, nothing is going to result into any fruit. Sthira Sukham Asanam. Sthira Sukham Asanam. Prayat Shaithilyananta Samapatibhyam Prayatna Shaithilyananta Samapatibhyam Tato Dvandvanabhighatah Tato Dvandvanabhighatah तस्मिन् सति श्वास प्रश्वासयोर् गति विच्छेदः प्राणायामः तस्मिन् सति श्वास प्रश्वासयोर् गति विच्छेदः प्राणायामः. So here Anuswara will have first sound. Vichcheda pranayamah. Bahyabhyantara stambha vrittirdesha kala sankhyaabhihi. Bahyabhyantara stambha vrittirdesha kala sankhyaabhih. Paridrishto dirgha sukshmaha. Here also Visarga is first sound. Sankhyaabhih paridrishto dirgha sukshmaha. Bahyabhyantara stambha vrittiradesha kala sankhyaabhih paridrishto dirgha sukshmaha. Bahyabhyantara vishayakshepi chaturthah. Bahyabhyantara vishayakshepi Kshepi Chaturthaha. So whenever Visarga is followed by a peculiar sound called as Ksha, you have to have the natural sound of Visarga, Tataha, have a slight pause and say Kshiyate. Tataha Kshiyate Prakashavaranam. Tataha Kshiyate Prakashavaranam. धारणासु च योग्यता मनसः. धारणासु च योग्यता मनसः. स्वविषया संप्रयोगे चित्तस्वरूपानुकार इवेन्द्रियाणां प्रत्याहारः. स्वविषया संप्रयोगे चित्तस्वरूपानुकार इवेन्द्रियाणां प्रत्याहारः. Here also the visarga sound is for tatah paramavashyatendriyanam. Tatah paramavashyatendriyanam. So here ends the sadhana pada. Iti Patanjali virachite Yoga Sutre dvitiya sadhana padaha. And then comes the Vibhuti pada. Desha bandhaschittasya dharana. Desha bandhaschittasya dharana. Tatra pratyayikatanatadhyanam. Tatra pratyayikatanatadhyanam. Tadevarthamatra nirbhasam swarupashunyamiva samadhihi. Tadevarthamatra nirbhasam swarupashunyamiva samadhihi. Trayamekatra sanyamaha. Trayamekatra sanyamaha. And then tajjayat pradnyalokaha. Tajjayat pradnyalokaha. This is how the Ratambhara Pradnya state is achieved. Alokaha. Due to the sharpened Sanyama, the inner clarity is achieved. So here we'll stop. The next session sorry, just a minute. Will be on the second Saturday, that is 13th of September. So with the Shanti mantra, we'll end today's session. Adopt Chin Mudra or Namaskara Mudra. Close your eyes. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. With Thank you so much, and I will see you next month. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Kate,
you.
for your time and effort.
Most welcome. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye for now.
Bye.